Thank you for joining us. I'm joined here today by my colleagues Damien, Leo, and Mir. And today we'll be discussing some of the most common questions and concerns we get from our customers related to the development of CO2 storage projects. And let me just set the scene a little bit before we dive into some of those questions. The Global CCS Institute actually announced a 102% increase in projects under development in 2023. That's a significant and record-breaking increase. So there's now 392 projects currently in development, and over 10 actually entered operation. However, despite all this very exciting momentum, there is still only a handful of projects every year that reach a final investment decision and actually enter construction. And a lot of things hindering this progress are related to long-term economics and costs. And perhaps, Damien, you can start us off by discussing some of the questions and concerns you hear from our customers related to the cost sides.
Well, there's certainly many topics that customers want to talk about, but there is a recurring theme around cost optimization, and specifically around operating costs. In the case of CCS, operating cost is actually more relevant than development and construction costs over the lifetime of a project. And the key component of this operating cost is what we call MMV, monitoring, measurement, and verification. So it's really at the forefront of people's mind to understand how they go about developing an MMV plan. It's particularly relevant because, one, they have to embed that strategy, that plan early on in the cycle. From the moment they apply for a permit, that they go into a licensing mode, they need to know and tell the regulator what they're going to do about this. There is also an aspect of transparency and openness that is not necessarily the common practices in other industries that might make some people nervous about this. And there is the aspect that regulation exists, but are still relatively vague. Before jumping in, what is MMV? Really is regulatory requirements mandated by the regulator to tell you what data you need to provide to understand really where the CO2 is injected and behaves, and what are the corrective measures that you can take. Before doing any MMV plan, you need to understand your reservoir, basically. And the reservoir is typically characterized around three components: the containment, the capacity, and injectivity. We've been around for a while. We've been participating in around 150 projects around the world. We've been doing subsurface characterization for 100 years, and so we can apply a lot of our learning to CCS as well. We know this is not a 1D or 2D or 3-dimensional issue. It's actually a 4-dimensional issue that you need to measure over time to see how your CO2 behave. And you do that with a combination of modeling capabilities and measurement to have certainty and management of your risk. Once your site is characterized, the next thing that you need to do is really to model scenarios to determine the most cost-effective way to develop your MMV plan. You have to ask yourself some questions around how many injector wells are you going to drill, how many monitoring wells are you going to drill, where do you place them, what type of information do you need to acquire over time, and that might change to satisfy your needs, etc. So this is all part of your MMV plan.